What do we think? What do we know? How do we learn? How do we grow? How do we see when we've been trained not to look? How do we speak when our voice got buried in their book? How do we breathe when the air we were given was filtered through fear and sold as wisdom? What do we think, That we need their permission, That our dreams come in monthly payments, That we can't start over without a sponsor, What do we know? That most people are pretending. That reality TV made reality seem scripted. That even loved ones now come with disclaimers. That most pain isn't physical. It's spiritual suffocation in slow motion. So let's talk about it. Truth versus training. You were trained to sit still, but your soul wanted to move, right? You were trained to speak soft, right? But your heart had storms. You were trained to be liked, but you were not trained to be real. You were trained to compete, but not to connect, right? But what do we think? That obedience is safety? That confusion means we're broken? That discomfort means we're wrong? What do we know? That every major shift starts with confusion. That peace doesn't always come with stillness. Sometimes it comes with explosion, right? They trained you to be calm, not to be clear, right? They trained you to fit in, not to shine. They gave you structure, but no self. And then you, me, we wore their names, memorized their rules, and forgot the sound of our own decision making. You dressed your mind in silence because loud was dangerous, but quiet was dying. And it always was, and it always will be. So what do we think? That the loudest are right? That the blue checks are wise? That popularity equals proof? What do we know? That wisdom don't trend well. It ain't too trendy, is it? That quiet don't mean clueless. That most people aren't living. They're reliving. Same loop. Same scroll. The same what's up. The same how are you? With no soul. You rehearse survival, but then you forget how to live. Rehearse confidence with no mirror in front of you. See, but that mirror, it don't forget and it don't forgive. See, they taught you performance, not presence. They taught you how to impress, not how to feel. Your mind. See, it's tired. It's a terrible thing to waste, right? From carrying other people's ideas. Your soul is tired from showing up where you don't belong. Your silence is sacred, but it's screaming. Let me get into this mantra. Let's get into it. May our minds stay sharp, our hearts stay open, and our days grow richer in truth and freedom. May we see clearly, speak boldly, and walk forward without fear, with mask in hand and light in our steps. So let's talk about it. What do we think? That we need to be fixed? That we're not enough without labels? That our value is something to earn? What do we know? That they're always so smart. They benefit from when we hate ourselves and when we hate each other. That your self-doubt, that self-doubt of yours, it funds their power. That every generation is taught to feel small. So these corporations, these big systems, they can feel big. They gave you a dream and turned it into a nightmare, but it wasn't yours. They gave you shame and told you it was humility. Is it? They gave you structure, buried you with your own curiosity. You asked for truth, and they gave you content. You asked for a healing, and they gave you a sale. They asked you for answers, and now they gave you followers. This world, it was built different, man. I don't know, because it was built to distract you now from the fact that you were already whole. What do we think? That healing is linear? That vulnerability is weakness? That loving yourself, that loving yourself makes you arrogant? Oh man. What do we know? That most people, this big new word, projection. Most people project their confusion. that judgment is just displaced pain. That when you finally stop lying to yourself, you lose a lot of people, but you gain life. See, that mirror, it don't lie. But when you've been taught not to look, you'll decorate it with filters, Photoshops, call that clarity. But the mirror, that's the real therapist. It shows you what you're hiding, when you're hiding, without saying a single word, right? That's why most avoid it, because once you face it, you can't pretend anymore, right? So let's go through one of these riddles here. What makes you cry, but never says a word? Answer down below. What burns without fire? So let's see. What makes you cry, doesn't say a word, burns without fire, and also what dies in silence? That's your purpose ignored. That's your light buried. That's your self disrespected. You are not your trauma. You're not your numbness. You're not the worst things that ever happened to you, but you believed it. You believed you were because they clapped when you played that role, right? In every aspect of life, they taught you to conform. But in every aspect of life, there's rebellion. You just forgot how to access it. But I'm here to help you as I help myself. See? So in this breath I take, in your breath, in your pause, in the moment that you and I choose silence, not to hide, but to feel. In every aspect of life, that's when things turn around. In every aspect of life, that's when things become different, right? You still have the right to rewrite the script. You still have the right to be whole without anyone's permission. You still have the right to be brilliant without proving it. And if they don't like it, see, that's their wound, not your warning. Okay? So, what do we think? What do we know? How do we learn? How do we grow? That we have to beg to be seen. Is that one of the rules, huh? What do we know, though? That one honest voice is more powerful than a million cowards and conditioned minds out there. That's what we know. You don't need to be liked. You need to be free. Freedom. Libertad. You don't need their applause. You need your own breath back. You don't need a plan. You need the courage to take the next true step. You don't need proof. You need presence. You don't need to be saved. You just need to stop running. Running from who you actually really are. I want to thank you for walking this path with me today. I'm honored by your time, your mind, and your presence. I look forward to continue to grow, to fight, and to win together. Wishing you the much continued success on your journey in every aspect of life.